Thanksgiving was last week, right? Thanksgiving was last week. It was wonderful. The church tables are still at my mama's house. We had a lot of people. It was wonderful. And then comes the next day, which is Black Friday. I am not into any kind of Black Friday, you know? I wouldn't care if they call it Purple and Pink Friday with yellow polka dots and stripes. I still wouldn't care that much about it. If you want to go get me something, that's fine. Care that much about it. So here comes the day after Thanksgiving. And you know, all that stuff in the turkey hangover, and all the dessert, sugar, letdown that happens. You know, all that? Man. I don't know if there's any amount of Holy Ghost filling that can bring me back from all that filling. And so Black Friday for me was a Black Friday. And so Graham was still at Grandma's house and got late into the evening and I still hadn't done anything. Melanie was ready to go to bed. She was tired. And I think to myself, I'm about to get angry. Why? For no particular reason. Turkey hangover. Trypto, whatever. Makes you tired and irritable. So, here we go. And so I think, man, I've been preaching on joy, right? Rejoicing. I've been preaching on victory. I'm like, I'm not gonna get up. I'm not gonna have a Black Friday. Just not gonna have one. Not gonna have one. So I went upstairs. Hannah was playing her guitar. I said, Hannah, I'd like to go downtown to a coffee shop. Don't you want to go with me? Well, I've been training Hannah to respond to the coffee shop since she was about 6 months old, like Pavlov's dog, to have her mouth water, coffee shop, bam, you know? She said, okay, I'll go. So we go downtown. I think she even drives. Go downtown. We hop out down there at the Mid-Iron Bank Fountain, whatever. There's this thing, I made up this thing. It's called peopletainment. I don't know if anybody else does it. I don't know if anybody else made up that name, but I just call it peopletainment. It's cheaper than all other forms of entertainment, and it is really the thing that all other forms of entertainment is based on, right? There is drama, there are stories, there is comedy, there is tragedy, there is excitement and adventure happening in the 7 billion people on the planet at all times, and they're always accessible. So I thought, I will be happy. I'm preaching on victory and rejoicing all the time, and I have not gotten there so far today on Black Friday. Had not gotten there yet that far that day, and it had the possibility of just going down, you know. And so we went downtown and got out down there. We got out, we went around the corner, and there was this young, good-looking guy walking with his date, this young, good-looking girl, and you know what he said? He said, the Justice League was horrible. That's what he said. And I hadn't seen the Justice League. So I said, really? He said, yeah, man, it was awful. I couldn't stand it. They messed it up so bad. And I said, tell me about how bad it was. And he said, well, Batman was plastic, you know, and then I don't even remember who else he said. He just didn't like it, and he was going on and on. He didn't take much for him to tell me a lot about how much he didn't like the Justice League. And I looked at that beautiful young lady, and I thought to myself, honey, you're in for a bad experience. And so I said to him, So I said to him, I said to her, actually, I said, are you excited to hear all about the Justice League? She said, no. Are you really into it? She said, no. I said, man, I got to tell you something, buddy. You are messing up. I know y'all are on a date tonight, and you're walking down the street talking about the Justice League. So just get it all out on me and let it go. They laughed so hard. The girl almost fell on the floor laughing. Hannah was laughing. It was absolutely Broadway hilarious. And so we kept walking. I thought, okay, that's a good start on the Friday night peopletainment. And we walked down the street some more. We got down to the end of the street, down by the river center, turned, and we heard this sound. It was a drummer that knew one beat, a bass player that knew every other note, and a keyboard player that knew quarter notes. And this is what they sounded like. Ding jing jing jackin ding 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 jackin ding 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 boom boom bom 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 bom. That's what they sounded like. And then you know what they did next? Ding 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 ding. And you know what Hannah said? Hannah said, Dad, some of you are going to get this. They said, Dad, it's like it's 3 Napoleon Dynamites on the corner playing. And they all 3 look like Napoleon Dynamite, you know, at the end of the movie. And that's what they looked like. It was the trio spastic version of Napoleon Dynamite. And so I saw him again later, and I thought, okay, I missed my chance. And so I thought, I want to play drums with these people. I wonder if they'll let me, because that would just be really good. And so we saw him later, and I went up to the guy, and I said, they had a break in the music, and I said, I've had a great night tonight. I told the guy, he had his hat on like this. I said, I've had a great night tonight. It's been really good. But you know what put it over the top? And he caught my enthusiasm. I was trying to let him catch it. I said, you know what put it over the top? I said, if you would let me sit in and play drums with you and your band, it would just put it over the top. And I said, and I am extremely good. I'm a really good drummer. I'm extremely good. And he said, okay. That's what he was like, okay. He was caught up in the enthusiasm. Like, how could he say no to that exciting offer? And he got up and he got excited. He said, hey guys, he's gonna play. And the guys went, okay. What's Napoleon's buddy's name? Pedro. Yeah, Pedro. It was one of those moments. It was like they had to acknowledge Pedro. So I sat down and I had their song down because it was really just one. I was ready. I had my fills. I had my solo. I knew what I was going to do. And the guy knew another song. And he said, and the bass player went, dong, bong, 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 da, ba, dong, da, da. And I went, a little shuffle never hurt nobody. And I even found a spot where the guy got distracted, and I took over, and I played 4 bars of solo. It was fantastic. He came in after 8 bars. I was trying to go longer. Didn't work out. But still, we finished, and we got up, and the other drummer was so excited. It was a good night. Well, this thing had happened before. Some music happened before, too, because I was walking down in front of Picasso's Pizza, and a guy was playing guitar outside. You know, about the time that I saw the Justice League people, and the guy that didn't know how to go out on a date with a nice lady. And so there was this guy out there, and he's playing, and I was walking down, and he was playing his music and stopped, and I walked up, and I walked by him and said, hey, Chad! And he stopped playing like this. And all the people eating their pizza went like, huh? And he just stood there and talked to me. So there's some music happening there. That's just hilarious that Chad stopped. And, you know, he was glad. He was more glad to say hello and talk than he was to play for the people who weren't listening. And then, like, it was peopletainment, I got to tell you. But that big thing that happened was this. About the time the Justice League thing was happening, about the time the Chad stopped playing and hilariously just in the middle of the song quit and talked for a while. About that time, there was this SUV looping Broadway. And it had this black trailer on it. And it had 2 speaker stacks on either side. And there was Santa Claus on top of the speaker stack going like this on Black Friday downtown. And they were saying, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, between the Justice League and Chad not knowing how to quit the play and the 3 Napoleon Dynamites and all these things. Like, it was absolutely nuts. And they were going, Merry Christmas. And I looked, and there was not any other floats in their parade. They were somehow trying to pull off a single float, random Black Friday parade without any cooperation from anybody at all. And we missed our chance. But after the Napoleon Dynamites, we turned around. And here they came again. And I yelled, Stop! Stop! And we ran up and we hopped on and joined the parade. I got a picture. There we are, we're right there. And then we had to, of course, get up there with Santa. So there we are with Santa, hanging out with Santa. I mean, we were having a parade where there was no parade. I don't know why they were doing it. And then I said, come on, Hannah, get up here with Santa. Tell Santa what you want for Christmas. Maybe this Santa can deliver. It's Black Friday. He knows where the sales are. And, it's hilarious. And so then I thought, I'm going to get a video. And here it is. Okay, we're hanging out here on Broadway in Columbus with Santa. What's the name?
Base Mobile.
Base Mobile. Yay. So we're hanging out here. Me and Hannah were walking down the street, and we saw him driving. And they said, hey, can we join you? So here we are. So Merry Christmas. Okay, not twice. Now, why would I tell you all this peopletainment? Why would I tell you? It was this. I have never started really celebrating Christmas that quick after Thanksgiving and meant it before. I didn't miss it. I mean, it was just these people driving around. They had a DJ business. I think they were advertising. They were just driving around. The Christmas float was moving, and somehow we got on. And today at Rivertown Church, the Christmas live, Jesus is born, the redemption of the world is driving by. And will you get on with me today? Will you get on? There's some things holding you back. There's some issues in life. There's some things happening around your life that would threaten you to miss Christmas. But you got to take it where you can get it. And you got to hop on when it drives by. And you got to follow the crazy people to the fun. Because a lot of people in Bethlehem missed it when it came by. They missed Christmas. Well, the innkeeper missed Christmas, right? It says in Luke 2, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths, swaddling clothes, right? And placed him in a manger, which is a dirty feeding trough that I believe they cleaned out, don't you? If they had the ability, time, and I don't know how they cleaned it out. because there was no room in the inn. The inn was out of room. You know why the innkeeper missed Christmas? Because he was too busy. Too busy. Now, I've got a principle for you today. It's the thing I hope you'll remember. And I'm going to associate it with pizza, so you can maybe really remember it, okay? Does anybody here have a problem with pizza? I mean, I have a problem with pizza sometimes. I mean, once I get started, I really can't even hardly stop. I really can't. Like, it has been such a sinful experience in my life. I have had trouble saying the blessing over the pizza because I don't know how to ask God to bless this wonderful tasting, horrible, awful treatment of my flesh. It pleases I have had a relationship with pizza. I have. Once I get started, I can't hardly stop. Now, the $5 pizzas from Little Caesars, I can kind of resist, right? That's okay. Now you step on up to Dioreos, which you can't, let's not talk about Dioreos. Let's just not even go there, because that's a sad story. You step it up to Dioreos. Then it gets tougher, right? It's tougher. Not last summer, but the summer before, we went to Washington, D.C., our family time away. There was this pizza experience, you guys. I'm going to get all misty-eyed talking about it. I would leave right now and drive the 13 hours to get there to have this pizza. Like, anybody want to go? I'll be like Chad and just stop in the middle and just go. You know, it's just like, was I playing a song? I can't remember. This pizza. So it was so hot. Anybody visited Washington, D.C. in the summertime? John, like there's a heat that comes off those marble buildings that is just nuts. I mean, it is a human oven, but that's what happens. Their brains get fried, I think. It's inside the Beltway brain fry. Yeah, so, I was so excited that I had been there. I can't remember I think Melanie had not been and the kids have not been. So it was just like the first time chowing down, sinking our teeth into and experiencing all the richness of the city, right? We got there and immediately we went out to the reflecting pool in the moonlight. We went to everything. I mean, it was fantastic. We even stayed in this basement apartment out behind Union Station that we took this easy little electric tram out to. It was just so good. Then towards the end of our time there, we realized the whole time we had been passing by this place because we just wanted to go. We ate peanut butter and jelly to afford all. We just ramen noodles, peanut butter and jelly some nights to feed the family on the cheap. So, but then we said, let's just try this pizza place. Let's try this pizza place. The name of the pizza place is And Pizza. Anybody here ever had any And Pizza? Oh, Stephanie. You know what I'm talking about? Oh my gosh, do you still remember it? I mean, it's an experience. Like, oh my gosh. We stopped and they put it through this 900-degree oven. And they have bread for the crust. I've just never tasted bread. Like, give me this, my daily bread, Jesus, please. Like, that's what Jesus was talking about. The Greek word means and pizza crust in the Hebrew. In the Greek, that's what it means. And then this toppings, it's so fresh and delicious and amazing. I think like they just have this micro farm inside there, or I don't know where they keep the farm. It was just, I don't know what happened. Okay. It was just, I'm going to cry. We had an exchange student, Jessica, from China. She was very emotional. All the time she said, anything in church, anything she was discovering Jesus, she said, I cry. I cry. That's what she could get out. So I'm just glad that we had this pizza experience in the flesh at the end of the mental, emotional, soul, spiritual experience of Washington, D.C. Because say what we will about politicians, the monuments speak to something greater, don't they? They speak to something greater. Here's what I got to tell you. If I would have gone to Ann Pizza on the first night instead of the reflecting pool, I would not have gone to the reflecting pool. I would have said, we're not going. Well, because I couldn't move. But also because I would have just had this experience with food. And all of the good and right and perfect things would have seemed wrong, irritating, and not good enough. In the story, Jesus, the reason for the season, is the city. The busyness, I hate to tell you, is the pizza. It's got to be Jesus and the busyness. Or if it's the busyness first, like I would have never gotten the family to have the experience of the city. If it would have been the pizza first, I would have never gotten to the city. At Christmas, if it's not Jesus first with what I spend my time, emotions, energy, and attention on, and if there is time left for the Ann Pizza, then we get to add what we have left. It's got to be and busyness. Because the busyness is to my flesh what the pizza is to my flesh. You got me? When we attach it to pizza, we can remember. Well, King Herod missed Christmas. In Matthew 2, it says, when King Herod heard all this, he was disturbed about the king being born, and all Jerusalem with him. And having been warned by God in a dream not to return to Herod, the Magi left for their own country another way. King Herod missed out on Christmas because of worry, fear, and jealousy. I got to tell you, worry, fear, and jealousy is to my flesh like and pizza is to my mouth. I've got to get the Jesus, the Christ of Christmas first. Do you hear me? And when I start moving my flesh towards the and worry, there's not time for it, is there? The and fear, the and jealousy, you'll miss it, right? I'll miss it. Well, the religious leaders also missed Christmas. In Luke 2, it says, when he had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Christ was to be born. And they said, in Bethlehem of Judea, they replied, for this is what the prophet has written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judea, this is the prophet of Joel. And it says, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler who will be the shepherd of my people Israel. the religious leaders who informed Herod and informed the Magi who came, the ones who knew where to find Jesus, missed Jesus, just like we know how to find Jesus, right? But we can miss him at Christmas. Why? Because of indifference. Indifference. Now, let's think about indifference for a minute. Oh, Christmas every year, right? Those family members, you're going to see, it's exciting, but also your guard goes up, right? Issues. The indifference is my fleshly response. Like when I think about going to Washington, D.C., I really want to go to And Pizza first. And my heart will go to indifference first when it comes to Christmas. I don't know if yours does at times. There are some times in our life that if you don't get excited about it, you'll miss it. If it's not passion, it doesn't meet the bar. If it's not obsessiveness about Jesus is the reason for the season, you'll leave plenty of room left over for and indifference. Because there's something in us that wants it. Well, then Jerusalem also missed Christmas. Luke 2:20. It says the shepherds returned, like the shepherds got it. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had what? Heard and seen. Now, the religious leaders knew things, right? But the shepherds saw things. That's the difference between religion and Christianity. Jerusalem missed it because of religion. They were caught up in their religious practices. Okay. At the first Christmas, there was religion going on. And Jesus being born was viewed by 100% of the people as not a religious thing. You get it? My religion gets in the way. My practices, my indifference can get in the way of experiencing the real Christ, what I have seen and heard of Jesus. Because it's like, and Jesus when the religion comes first. My flesh wants the religion because the religion makes me feel good enough, measuring up, and like I know what to do. And like I got this. An experience of hearing and seeing makes me feel like I don't have it together, and I need some more, and I need to grow, and I'm humbled, and I'm blessed, but I'm humbled. Jesus, don't give me religion this Christmas. Give me you, God. Because if it looks like what I've done before, it might not just always be you, Jesus. The Romans missed Christmas. Luke 2:1, it says, there in the days of Caesar Augustus, issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. The Romans missed Christmas because of false gods. False gods. They had to come in their census and pay homage to Caesar Augustus. The Augustus means the august one. August means high, beautiful. This was a title given to him, a God-like title. And not only Caesar, but all the other false gods. They missed Christmas because of false gods. Every one of us has a false god that wants to get in the way of Christmas. And I got to tell you that And Pizza, if I would have it right now, it'd be my false god. I couldn't stop. I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. It might not be a false god to you, but it is to me. You hear me? It might not be And Pizza for you, but you hear me talking about it like, oh, If I could just have some more. Do you hear that? What do you want this Christmas more than an experience with Christ? There are some things I want. They're even good things. But they're not God. I'm not talking about presents either. There's some things. It's all and pizza. Well, Nazareth was the final one that missed Christmas. It's where Mary and Joseph came from. To Joseph's ancestral home, Bethlehem, the city of David, because he was of the tribe and the lineage of the king. Okay? But they went back to Nazareth. Imagine being the next door neighbor. A teenage girl. She did wrong. I know what they did. And we have to live next door to them. There was no magic, mystery, and power because all they could see was familiar Mary, familiar Joseph. Familiarity breeds contempt. Too familiar. Contempt. Oh, but I don't have contempt. Well, it says here, in Luke 2, 39 and 40, when Joseph and Mary had done everything required by the law, they returned to Galilee, to their own town of Nazareth. And the child grew and became strong and was filled with wisdom. And the grace of God was upon him. And you know, Nazareth missed it forever. Today, Nazareth is not even a Jewish town. Familiarity. Well, we're here at this time today to focus on not just nativity, but a live nativity, right? A living nativity, where you and I will participate or view and invite people to experience our church celebrating the nativity through being the nativity. I don't even care that much if hundreds of people don't come. You feel me? I care that somebody walks out into the feet of the wise man. And somebody smells from the animals what Mary and Joseph and Jesus smelled. That someone dons the cloak. That someone hears a baby cry. Because we don't want to miss Christmas. You miss things that aren't alive very easily. And so there's a story. See, I love the story. Today's important. But years of Sundays bring a depth to the power of God. If you will stick around in a church and start watching for the power of God at work, you might not always see it, but when the stories start to line up, you begin to see, oh, that's what God was doing. That's what God was doing. I want you to see this today. What I began to see yesterday. And the sermon isn't in the words of the preacher, but in the lives of the people.